Am I the asshole for yelling at a cashier who asked me to donate to St. Jude's? At the grocery store earlier, the cashier asked if I wanted to make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I declined and the cashier asked if I was sure. I said yes, I'm sure. I was confused as to why this needed to be a conversation. I inserted my card and while I was waiting for it to process, he says, "So you can wear Nike but you can't donate to some kids?" I swear that I saw red. For context, I'm gay and my parents kicked me out for it a few months ago. Stuff has been rough and I was buying a $4 box of ramen and dog food. Also, due to pipe bursts at my job, I've been out of work. Am I the asshole for yelling at a cashier who asked me to donate to St. Jude? I had $18 after rent this week and now $6, and needless to say, I'm just really struggling and constantly hungry. I said excuse me and he started picking apart my outfit. He looked over the counter and said, "Nice Nike shoes too." I completely lost it. I cussed him out and said he can F himself and donate his whole paycheck if he cares that much. The manager came over and I explained the situation and the guy said that his brother had cancer and St. Jude helped him. I said you still can't berate customers and I can't lie, when I got on the bus I cried. Just because of all the stress I've been under, like 2.5 weeks until a paycheck. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they ruined New Year's celebration after they kicked my husband out over a joke? I've been married to my second husband Mike for 4 years. He's a jokester and loves to crack jokes all the time. He especially likes to joke with my brother Ethan and his wife. Ethan used to be okay with it till he started complaining about Mike taking it too far. Ethan and his wife couldn't have kids, so they adopted a boy, Joey, 2 years ago. Mike has been making silly, lighthearted jokes that involve Joey's bio parents as a way to mess with Ethan and his wife. I already talked to Mike and I can tell you he 100% means no harm and is just trying to get them to react. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they ruined New Year's celebration after they kicked my husband out over a joke? For New Year's Eve, my parents hosted a big celebratory dinner and Ethan and his wife came. While eating dinner, Mike decided to tell a knock-knock joke to Ethan. He said, "Knock knock." Ethan laughed and said, "Who's there?" Mike replied, "Joey's bio parents." Then he bursted out laughing. Silence took over and Ethan's facial expressions changed. His wife called Mike an idiot, to which Mike replied with, "Hey, relax, it was just a joke." My parents told Mike to leave, which I thought was too harsh, and when we left, he was complaining the whole time about how they overreacted. They're saying I was wrong for defending.
My boyfriend wants to act out a rape fantasy on me. Is this normal? He confessed to me that he has rape fantasies last week. Here's some context about our relationship. I'm 34 and he's 47. We met at the gym 2 years ago and we're both really into fitness. He chased me for about 6 months before I said yes to even going on a date. But when I think about it now, I realize how aggressive he was with me all the time. Before I ever gave him consent to touch me, he did it. At the gym, he would always find excuses to be touching me. When I finally said yes to going on a date, first thing he did was kiss me without even asking me. And on our very first date, he insisted on having sex. But I kept saying no and I even had to fight him off of me at one point. No, it's not like he was trying to rape me, but he kept putting his hands in places he shouldn't have. Here's the thing. I haven't had a relationship in over 10 years, so I guess I could say I'm a little bit out of practice. I justified all of his actions because I hadn't dated anybody in a long time. And I also was happy because he's so attracted to me he can't keep his hands off me. But he's become very obsessed and possessive with my body. And to be honest, sometimes I like it, but other times it's just too much. Always in my personal space, kissing me, touching me wherever he wants, without consent. Part 2 is up. Boyfriend wants to play out a rape fantasy on me. Is this normal? Because I haven't dated in over 10 years, him always touching me and fondling me without consent seemed normal. Up until this point, I haven't wanted to move in because I do like my personal space. Last week, he told me that we should move in together. Once again, I told him that I wanted my personal space and that I needed my own apartment. That's when he said, well, then maybe you can please me in some other way. I asked him how and he said, I have a rape fantasy that I want to do on you. He said this with a smile on his face too. He kissed me and threw me on the bed. I told him that I was not ready for anything like that and he said, let's just try it. That's when he pinned my arms above my head and started kissing me. First it was fine because he usually does that anyway. Then he became more aggressive and started using more force. And that's when he started ripping off all my clothes. Of course I stopped him. Mostly because of my clothes though. I told him that I needed more time to accept something like that and that he needed to be patient with me. But he didn't stop. He threw me back onto the bed and started kissing me again. I actually had to physically remove myself from the room. Once I did, he apologized and said that he wouldn't do it again. But then he asked me to just read on the subject. He showed me a website and I read it. Apparently it's completely normal. Part 3 is up. My boyfriend wants to play out a rape fantasy on me. Is this normal? After he was on top of me and I got away, he told me that it was totally normal and he gave me a website to read. Basically said that rape fantasies are completely normal and that I shouldn't be freaked out by it. So my boyfriend went back to asking me again if we could do it. Of course I said no at the moment. I was completely freaked out since he had tried twice without my consent. After I said no for the third time, he still wanted to have sex and we did. But the whole time I could tell that he just wanted to get rough with me. He kept biting my shoulders and grabbing my neck. Now here's the thing. I could say yes to this rape fantasy, but I'm afraid of what he'll actually do to me. The website says you need to have a safe word. And when I explained that to him, he said, sure. This man is pure muscle and weighs twice as much as I do. What if he just gets so into it that he forgets it's actually a fantasy? And I'm also afraid of liking it. But I continue to follow my gut instinct and I keep saying no. He's still always all over me though. I don't think that'll ever go away. Does your boyfriend do this? Is it normal? My friends tell me that I should be grateful that he's so attracted to me and they think that I should go for it. I think I'll say yes and then make an update video. Wish me luck.
I told my girlfriend that I wanted to report her mom to somebody or at least tip someone off. Would I be the asshole if I reported my girlfriend's mom for tax evasion? Listen, when it comes to the government, steal all you want. I'm very pro stealing from the government because the government steals from us all the time. So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My girlfriend and I have been with each other for 2-ish years. I met my girlfriend's mom 1 year into the relationship. My girlfriend and I are students, so we don't prioritize work that much in our lives, which leaves us limited in money. My girlfriend's mom helps us out a lot with monetary gifts, allowing me to stay with her at her residence and giving my girlfriend a credit card that she pays off. My girlfriend's mom affords this from a property she inherited from her after her mother died. My girlfriend's mom chose to sell that property 6 months ago and has been using that money to finance home remodelings in her residence as well as helping us out. After the money ran out, we have been having tense relations as my girlfriend and I are finding jobs, while my girlfriend's mom continues to buy furniture for her residence. My girlfriend's mom has been diagnosed with severe mental disorders and has not listened to our warnings of excessive spending. My girlfriend and I try to budget what we have, but we run into conflicts with my girlfriend's mom and she asks us to pay back the money she gave us with the jobs we have. My girlfriend and her mom got into a conflict recently and began to rant to me about her mom. One of the topics she brought up was how my girlfriend's mom admitted that she had not paid the taxes on the sale of her mother's inherited property. My girlfriend says that her mom had worked with a tax assistant to avoid paying any taxes for the sale of the property, and that my girlfriend's mom is worried about getting caught. The rest of the day, I had considered what to do in the situation. I told my girlfriend that I wanted to report her mom to somebody or at least tip someone off. My girlfriend understandably doesn't want her mom to get into any more financial problems as it is and is scared that her mom might go to prison. I am concerned about my girlfriend's mom and I am thankful for her generosity and help, but I thought tax evasion was a federal crime. I don't want to cause any more problems for my girlfriend or her mom, but I feel that not saying anything might be a problem in the future. So let me get this straight. Because she's been helping you guys out tremendously, right? And now she's in a pinch and she asks for some money back, the first thing you want to do is snitch on her? Get out of here. Like, I would still pay her back. That's not, regardless of how she got that money, when she got that money, that's not your problem. She gave you guys money to live and to go to school. If she wants that back, she has that entitlement. What a douchebag. Get out of here.
Am I the asshole for giving my daughter a better present than my son? Our son is 22 and our daughter is 26 and just bought a house in July. So because of this, we gave her $4,000 and our son a few different gifts totaling around $800. Our daughter had to work Christmas, but we did Christmas on the 26th, and she stayed with us for the holidays from then until yesterday. Our son lives with us, and today he told us that he didn't want to say anything while his sister was here, but his feelings were hurt by the disparity in the value of the gifts. We explained that the gifts that we got him were tailored to his interests, but his sister just had a big life milestone. And money is really more important to her right now. Am I the asshole for giving my daughter a better present than my son? He said it's hurtful because it feels like we're more proud of her than him. My wife got really frustrated and asked why he would choose the least charitable interpretation of our actions. He said he couldn't control it, and I said that we have experience being new homeowners and it's very expensive. He said that was fine, but it hurt to get a worse present and feel like an afterthought. My wife asked if he expected the gifts to be $4,000, and he said no, but the gifts should have been equal. And that we could have just gave her $800. My wife called him entitled and he's saying that we're not listening. Am I wrong?
Am I wrong for throwing my wife a birthday party and royally pissing my mom off? My wife and I are currently staying with my parents because we just couldn't afford the cost of living in this area. We are both currently looking for better jobs and or something cheaper, but it is what it is right now. My mom and wife share a birthday and there aren't words for how much my mom hates this. There were lots of whining in the beginning, jokes about can I just get a new girlfriend, and as of right now, she does her best to avoid my wife the entire week of the shared birthday. Outside of that, she's a decent mother-in-law, mostly pleasant to her, but their relationship is surface level, and they both could do without the other. My mom is currently at home recovering from surgery from a torn ACL, so she isn't doing much this year, though my dad got her cake, food, and easily thousands of dollars worth of presents. Okay, so her birthday is very important to her, I see. My wife has been feeling pretty down due to our living situation and some external factors, and I wanted to cheer her up. I asked my dad if we could have some people over. He said yes, but to be fair, I didn't specify it was for a birthday party. I'm not sure he even remembered it was my wife's birthday, as he is totally disinterested in her and he was in the middle of doing stuff for my mom who was acting very princessy about her surgery. I invited our closest friend and set up a nice little party for my wife. At some point, my mom did come down and realize what was going on. I saw her look at the decorations and cake and she looked pissed. My dad quickly ushered her away and promised they would go out when she was better, but she said it wouldn't count. My dad came back and muttered to me that I'm an asshole for doing this and called me insensitive and a mooch. He's a mooch? Really, Dad? When you're the one who's buying her thousands of dollars worth of gifts and like protecting your daughter doesn't even exist, but he's the mooch? Okay. He came out an hour later and shut the party down as he claimed we were being too loud. I don't think we were, but it was getting late, so I didn't mind too much. My wife loved it and had a great birthday. I fully intended on cleaning up myself but was too tired to do it that night. My mom came down in the morning and saw the things still up and got pissy again. I was in the process of cleaning them and told her not to worry, I would take care of it. She just glared at me and stormed off. My dad came back down and berated me for throwing it in my mom's face that my wife got a birthday party and she didn't, and told me he can't stand me and can't wait for us to leave. I told him they are both being crazy and my mom doesn't own the date. He shot back that I tricked him as he didn't realize it was a birthday party, to which I laughed and said maybe he should know his own daughter-in-law a bit better. He complained to some family and now my aunt and her husband are calling me an asshole as well. To be clear about the mess, my mom only cared because she saw birthday stuff. She has never in her life cared about a mess. She once threw a handful of glitter in her own living room. I only brought it up to let her know I wasn't planning on leaving it for the housekeeper as I thought that would be disrespectful.